Hey guys, we're back, and we're down in ADESA, Colorado Springs today, and we're talking to some of my favorite people that what I do during the week when I'm not being roller. You know what I mean? This is kind of the same aspect. It's got to do with automobile related, and that's the reason why I'm doing it. So we hope you enjoy it. We had Mark Lund, we had Kevin Rudder, and they were on. I thought they were great interviews, and now we have a young lady who I just think the world of, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Miss Riley Bear. How you doing, baby?
Oh, couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. You know, first of all, let's start where you came from. Where did you grow up at?
From a tiny little podunk town in Iowa, up by Clear Lake in Mason City, called Rockwell. Half the town's my family, so it's good to get out and get somewhere, a little bigger.
So, you're like you said, half your family's in the auction business. Mm-hmm. Were you destined to be in the auction? Did you always know you was going to be in the auction business?
No, it's so funny you ask. I didn't even know how to spell auction. I hadn't been around it. We moved when I was pretty little to a tiny town outside of Des Moines, and I didn't know my great uncle Paul too well. He lived out here in Colorado, moved here in the 80s, and it was a rite of passage for my family to go through auction school. And my grandpa, he swindled me a little bit, and he told me, it'll be a couple hours a day. You can come stay at Grampy's. We'll go to the pool. And Paul ran a tight ship. It was militant, but I ended up, at first I was like 19 years old. I didn't want to spend 2 weeks in my summer at auction school. It was going to be so weird, and I ended up loving it. Dropped out of college that summer and pursued becoming an auctioneer.
So what were you going to college for?
Nursing school.
Really?
Yeah.
So we lost a nurse, but we gained a fabulous auctioneer.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hopefully someone took my place.
Well, somebody did, and but kudos for you for trying to want to jump into a business like that.
Yeah.
That's a special kind of person, and that tells what kind of person you are. So let's see here. Who inspired you really to get into this business then?
I had known that my sister was doing it, but I hadn't really gone to any of her auctions. I went to her IJAC competition in Indiana. I remember that like it was yesterday. But like I said, I didn't really know much about the auction industry. So I give a lot of credit to my sister, but a lot of the instructors that I had, Christine Flatabo out in Minnesota, Jack Hines, real estate guy, great instructor.
Yeah.
I took such a liking to him. I loved his approach and how he taught. And then of course my Uncle Paul, one of the best teachers there is. There's really no better instructor than my Uncle Paul.
World champion, great guy.
Yeah.
We all knew him. We all worked with him, and get to see him every once in a while. I get to go to breakfast with him every once in a while, and he's still Paul.
Yeah,
and you just love him. He really does. So talk to us about your benefit auctions and stuff about, what drew you to the benefit side instead of trying to get in maybe to the car auction industry?
Yeah. Well, I actually started in real estate. I was such a fan of Jack Hines. He was a real estate guy. Loved John Nichols, another one of my instructors that really motivated me to put myself out there. And so I started in real estate, and it went different. I worked for a broker who had no auction experience, and it was great for me to get out there and try something, but ultimately I wasn't growing within the auction industry. And then I worked for a guy out in Iowa, Dan Prohaska, really great person. And I went to school with his kids, which is kind of fun and serendipitous, but worked my first benefit for him, and I was sold that I wanted to do the benefit auctions. I loved seeing him up on stage, raising the money. I ended up flying out to Colorado a few times, working for my sister, seeing how she worked. And yeah, that sold me on doing the benefits, because, that's originally why I went into nursing school. I knew I wanted to do some good, have some level of impact, all to glorify God, but ended up doing the benefits, and I get to do all the work and the things I love for the greater good.
Yeah, well, and you do such a good job. Never seen in action, but you're flying all over the place, and these people are paying you good money, so you got to be good at what you do.
Well, you're welcome to come work anytime.
Oh, I'll do that for you in a heartbeat. You know that. How did COVID affect your business?
I graduated auction school 2019. COVID hit right after.
Right.
And so I felt really down and out. Like maybe this wasn't a part of God's plan, because it felt so perfect. I was questioning the nursing, went to auction school, fell in love with it, found a new passion, Then COVID hits, and I'm like, no one can mentor. Everyone's locked away.
Right.
Live auctions aren't happening. But it was actually such a blessing. I was able to kind of dip my toe in to these virtual events, and not have the pressure of going up there not knowing a ton of what I'm doing. I was able to use teleprompters, get comfortable in front of people. It was a huge blessing for me, COVID was, to
Right.
be honest, to do those virtual events and pivot in that way.
Right.
And then lead into the live auction.
What do you think the future of your business is going to be? I mean, what are you going to do to grow your business into the next realm? Because we always have to learn with AI,
Yeah.
all that stuff coming into effect. What are you going to do to keep your name out there and on top of the list?
So I look at it as more than, just going there and being the auctioneer. I always want to be woven into the fabric of who a nonprofit is. I want to believe in their mission, and I want to translate it well to the audience.
Right.
And I look at it as more than just rattling off numbers or using a chant. I really want it to be a performance.
Right.
I want to use comedy and wit, and I want to make everyone feel seen, whether they're raising their paddle or not. So I think that's kind of what sets me apart, or how I would want to continue to grow my business, is just being a part of these nonprofits, letting them know that I'm not just their auctioneer, but I'm a huge advocate for your cause. And so I think just weaving myself into their mission.
Perfect. And you're on a lot of boards too, aren't you? I mean, you're with the Colorado Auctioneers Association, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
And what is your position with them?
Yeah, so I am a board member, and I do the newsletter. I had never done that before. I'm like the least tech savvy Gen
Right.
Z around, but I managed to figure it out. I love putting it together. It's fun to use my creativity to send out a little news article and
Sure.
keep our members informed. But that's been really great for me to be able to connect with other auctioneers.
Right.
That maybe I wouldn't know if it weren't
Right.
for the association or being on the board, and build really special relationships.
Now, as a lady coming into really for forever was a man's world.
Yeah.
You had people like Cookie Lockhart opening doors for people and stuff like that. Your sister, Angie Meyer, and stuff like that. Was it hard for you to get into the business? I mean, as a lady, did you find a lot of hurdles you had to jump over?
It's so funny you ask, because I think a lot of women probably would say they faced a lot of adversity and, had a lot of roadblocks and things that they needed to hurdle through. I was so fortunate because of women like Cookie Lockhart, my sister, Angie Meyer, that paved the way. I felt really blessed and really lucky, not just to have those women that paved the way, but the men that welcomed me in. I mean, you, Scott Goodhue, Terry Elson, great mentors to me. I mean, people
Right.
that I really look up to, never treated me any different. So I've been really fortunate in that sense. I've never felt that it hindered me or was something that was a huge obstacle for me to get past. I felt like one of you guys. It was never a barrier.
Right. Well, we more Scott Goodhue and Terry and them, they weren't picking on you or anything like that. They were being hard on you, but they wanted you to learn. They knew you had it in you, and they wanted you to take the ball and run. And
I appreciate that they didn't treat me any different just
Right.
because I'm a girl.
Well,
They wanted me
guaranteed.
to succeed. They saw my potential. I'll never forget Terry Elson. I first started showing up to Dealer's Auto Auction. I wasn't making a dime, but I just wanted to learn.
Right.
I just wanted to show up and learn from Terry Elson, one of the greatest
Yes.
of all time. And I'll never forget, he told me, you have 6 weeks. If you're not better in 6 weeks, I don't know what to do with you, kid. And I remember writing July 14th. That was the date that I needed to be better. I needed to have all my ringman skills down, and I couldn't let him down in that 6-week period. And that was a big deal for me to have that pressure
Right.
applied. He didn't view me as some little girl, or this is the date. If you're not better by this time, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. You've put in the homework and you've done the work and stuff, but your career has really taken off in this short time that you've been in the business. I mean, and I think it's got a lot to do with your personality. It's got a lot to do with the people that's helped you in the business, and you make us all proud. You really do.
Thank you, Chad.
Yeah. Let's see here. How many sales a year are you doing?
I do about 40 fundraisers, and
Wow.
I work 2 car auctions a week. Yeah.
So you don't have no time for Riley.
No, I have plenty of time for me. Yeah.
Just
I'll
on the-
sleep, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I understand that, but you're always doing something. But you're young. Why not? Why not just create a career that is going to be fabulous. Just think where you're going to be in 10 years.
100%. And I always think, and my sister and I have talked about this a lot, get the travel out of the way now. Do it while I'm young.
Right.
Go experience these new places. Go work for these amazing nonprofits that are outside of Colorado. And why not do it while I have the energy to?
You said such a key thing just a minute ago, do it while you're young. I got in the monster truck business and I traveled for over 25 years. Sooner or later, you're going to hate it. And it's probably getting where you hate it a lot anyway now, but it's just tough.
Yeah.
The travel, they've made it so hard, so impossible. And then when you get to the benefit or the auction or whatever, it's great. You're there and you're game on, but then you got to go back to the airport. They just make it hard for you.
So much time.
Oh my, it
travel.
does, doesn't it?
It does, but like we said, do it while I'm young, and I think about all the amazing places I get to go and see, and I try to look at it from that light of not just the places I get to go, but the people I get to meet there.
Sure.
Every place is different, and I love being here in Colorado, but I love going back home.
Right.
I love going to the Midwest and doing auctions out there and being back with people that share my values. And so I feel really, really blessed to get to experience old places and new places.
Right. What do you think your Uncle Paul thinks about the way you've come along? Has he ever?
I hope he's proud.
Has he ever taken you aside and said, "Boy, I'm really proud of you"?
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Every time I see him, he pulls me aside and tells me how proud he is of me. He loves doing the auction talk.
Right.
And, seeing how everything's going. He's a big champion for me and my sister. And I think a lot of people in the industry, he is a servant of this industry.
Oh, guaranteed. He's got a really well-known name out there. And plus, what was great, I used to run it if I flew into Minneapolis. I'd always call Bear and say, "Are you in the airport? Because I know you got a little special treatment here. We can get a pass to go here and go do that." Yeah, exactly. And he always had the niche, man. He always had the game or whatever you want to call it.
Smooth.
Oh, he was great at it, guaranteed. So, if I was looking to hire you, how would I find you? What do I do? Give me your website. Give me your contact information.
Yeah, bearbenefits.com.
Okay.
You can find us on there.
But that's not Bear, BEAR.
BEHR.
There
like
you
the
go.
paint.
Yes.
Relation, but bearbenefits.com. We work solely on word of mouth referrals. We don't do any marketing, so I think the old-fashioned way, it's the best way.
Well, that's the best way.
The
And
truth.
you can always get a hold of me through this, and I can get you her phone number and stuff like that. But, guys, I tell you what, man, ladies, okay, one more story. What would you tell a young lady trying to get into the business right now? What would your words of encouragement be?
Find a mentor. I think that's the best place to start. For me, auction school was great. I learned a lot, but it's information overload. Where
Right.
do I go next? What do I need to do? And finding that mentor that can help guide you, someone that is your champion, your biggest supporter, an advocate for you, I think is so, so important. I wouldn't have been able to build my business or have the career that I have without the mentorship of my sister, Terry Elson, Scott Goodhue, and all of you guys.
Well, we're all proud of you, and I want you to know that.
I love you too.
I love working with you. I love doing little things, naughty little things like putting a cone in front of the car to you and stuff. But that just only means one thing, that I care about you and I respect you and
You're
that I love you.
you are. You're Frank Sinatra. Gets me every time. I still haven't figured out how you are so stealthy.
One day you'll learn. It comes to you.
I'm trying to keep my eyes.
Yeah, well,
You can't blink. You can't blink.
No,
with
you
this
can't.
guy.
That's right. We'll get you every time. Well, guys, I tell you what, you're talking to one of the young ones in the business, and she's doing a phenomenal job. Ladies, if you're wanting to get into the business and you'd like to talk to her, I know that I can get her phone number, and I know that she would be more than happy to talk to you at any time about the auction business.
100%. No prank calls, though.
No
No
prank
prank
call.
calls.
No, we don't want no prank calls. Not at all. I'm the only prankster. That's all there is. Because I had this big
Only
prank.
room for one in my
Yeah,
life.
I had this big prank deal. I was going to call and tell you, the state patrol or something like that. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do it.
Ruin her
I
day.
let you off. I let you off. So, but Riley Bear, that's her name, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, she's auction phenomena. You guys cannot believe the way she's going and the things she's doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe.
I appreciate you. Turn this around here. All right, guys, that's it for today. I got to get out there and get to work now before I get fired. So we appreciate you guys. We thank you very much. Remember, at the car shows, we're so approachable. We have stickers. We have everything. We want to talk to you about your car, about your future, what it took for you to get your car. And Derek and I are those kind of guys. So peace out. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. See you tomorrow. Don't forget, we got all the auctioneers up on the show tomorrow. So we'll talk to you later on. Bye.